Hello and welcome back to ABG Investor Day. My name is Adrian Galani. I'm an equity research analyst here at ABG within the cap goods sector. Our next presentation will be with Eolus Vind, and with me today I have CEO Per Vitalisson, who will give the presentation of about 20 minutes, and then we'll have a short Q&A session. So with that, Per, I will leave it up to you.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to present Eolus here at the conference. We're starting with this lovely winter picture from our Norwegian project Stiga Field that was taken into operation in about a year ago. This is showing how the wind power is growing in importance, and also how the sizes of the wind turbines grow compared to 10 years ago, like 2010. These turbines here, introduced and taken into operation 2020, each turbine produce about twice as much as the turbines did 10 years ago. And if we look ahead at the latest turbines that Eolus has procured, that we will take into operation in the autumn of 2023, they will produce like 3 times more electricity compared to the turbines installed in 2010. And that is, of course, really important. It lowers the cost of energy and makes renewables and wind power even more efficient and compatible compared to other production methods. And most people and scientists agree about that electrification is key to the much needed transformation towards a sustainable future, and that renewables will play a really important role for in this transition. Next slide, please. So Eolus is a developer of renewable energy. We've been in business since 1990, so we have more than 30 years of experience from developing projects, and everything we do, every single project we develop is based on that experience. And with quite long lead times for projects, we have to look ahead and to have a view on what we think will happen on the energy markets for like 5 and 10 years ahead. So what we do is that we develop renewable energy projects. We construct them, we sell, and we operate on behalf of the investors who are our customers. Our preferred business model is that we develop projects at our own risk, and when they are fully permitted and we have lined up procurement of everything that is needed to construct the project, that we sell the project at that point in time, and that we then construct it on behalf of our customer, and that we, in the end, also operate it on behalf of them. And in almost all cases, we manage to get long-term asset management agreements with our customers, where we take care of the entire facility technically and commercially for like 10-15 years. So far, we have constructed more than 660 wind turbines. We have a project portfolio of about 9,000 megawatt. That is 9 gigawatt of capacity. We have, when it comes to asset management services, we have more than 900 megawatt in operation, which we take care of each and every day and 24 hours around the clock. And we have another almost 500 megawatt under construction. Technology-wise, we obviously come from the wind side because it has been the most mature technology with the lowest cost of energy, and especially here in the Nordic countries. But we are technology neutral. We should always develop project and construct project and sell what the markets wants and what project can bring the lowest cost of energy. So in our portfolio, we also have offshore wind projects, and we will see a lot more of that, especially here in the Nordic countries around the Baltic Sea. And for instance, especially in Sweden, a lot of offshore wind will definitely be needed over the coming decades to phase out the remaining nuclear. An increasing part of our portfolio is solar PV projects. So far, mainly located in the southwestern US, but we will also see an increased number of PV projects also in Sweden and in Poland. And last but not least, we have energy storage projects, mainly battery storage in our portfolio. And in the Nordics, we are very blessed with a hydro for balancing and other services and for shifting production of electricity over times. But in many other countries and regions, that is not the case, and their energy storage is much more in demand. When it comes to markets, we're active in Sweden, the Nordic countries, in the Baltic states, and in southwestern US. And in the US, as I said, we have the majority of our solar PV projects are located there in California, Nevada, Arizona, and in those regions, solar PV projects can be constructed at a lower cost of energy compared to what wind projects can be in those regions. And in the Nordics, it's the opposite. Poland is our latest market entry. We entered that country in March this year. We're building up a team and a portfolio of projects. And in the short run, you can expect to see most solar PV projects from our Polish portfolio. The lead times for development, permitting, and construction is much shorter compared to wind projects. The Polish market is very interesting to us and to many other players. It's a large country with quite a large population and very dependent on coal-based production, and with an ambition to phase out coal for electricity production by 2049. Next slide, please. Here are some of our recent achievements. Before summer, we completed our first American wind project in California. It's a repowering project. I will come back to that a little later in the presentation. We also during the summer acquired 2 different projects, 199 megawatt combined project from RWE in the Swedish price area 3. It's located in the county of Dalarna. These projects are fully permitted and can be constructed with operation estimated to late 2023. We have started the sales process, and this Friday we also announced that we have signed a PPA with a major global energy company for these projects. So they will long term buy the electrical output from the wind farm. We also acquired a large project, a 260 megawatt project north of Sundsvall from Enercon. We did that jointly with Hydro, and they are both providing a PPA, so they will buy the electrical output, and they are developing partners together with us. We own 51% and they have 49% of the joint project. And also here we are in the procurement process for turbines and in the sales process. Next slide, please. So when you look at Eolus, it's very much about projects and how the projects develop and evolve over time, and how we can realize them, sell, construct. So this is what we have under construction now, 476 megawatts in the projects Øyfjellet, Rosenskog, Dållebo, Boab and Timmele, where the largest project is our 400 megawatt project Øyfjellet in Norway. And I'll speak a little more about that, but this is the project to focus on in the short run. Next slide, please. This is maybe the most interesting part of the portfolio, I would say. To create visibility over the portfolio in our financial reports, we communicate the status of our late stage development projects. And here, starting with the projects mentioned, Storsjön, Skallberg, Utterberg, Tjärnäs, and then further projects. And also wanted to point out that I'm very pleased to see that our projects, both in foreign countries and within the, for us, new technologies of solar PV and energy storage, is developing well. So we aim to do transactions also on our American projects. The last project here, CALD, is our first battery energy storage in California. Next slide, please. With very long lead times for permitting, you have, as a project developer, you have to have a large project portfolio, and with of high quality that develops well over time. And we have 9 gigawatts in our total project portfolio. Sweden is still our largest market in terms of megawatt. Almost half of our portfolio is there. But our US portfolio is growing. We don't have that many projects in the US, but compared to Swedish and European conditions, most of those projects are really huge. You can also see the portfolio split by technology and also how mature they are, early development, late development, or under construction. Next slide, please. And a number of the recent transactions that we have done, and I just want to highlight the PPA market that has really taken off in the recent years with corporate PPAs, where heavy electricity intense users buy renewable electricity directly from renewable facilities. The tech companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple were early out when this trend came to Europe for almost 10 years. But the really breakthrough, I must say, is when the traditional energy intense industry like Alcoa, Norsk Hydro, Boliden, for instance, procure PPAs from these kind of new facilities just because it is the cheapest way for them to secure their long-term power prices. That is, of course, very important for their production. The other trend that we see is on the investor side. Investing along with the utilities or separately, we see a lot of financial institutions investing. And of course, the investing on the mega trend, reallocating from oil, gas, coal, etc., and investing in renewables to get long-term stable cash flows over time. Next slide, please. This is from our summary from our Q3 report. We didn't come as far as we had hoped when it come to in the completion of our large project Øyfjellet, which is more than a 4 billion SEK project. We only reached a completion percentage of 43%. So that means that we by Q3 only had accounted for 43% of the expected revenues and also 43% of the expected costs for the project. We have a strong balance sheet with an equity ratio of 54% at the end of September, and we had a net cash position of more than 500 million SEK. So we're financially strong to take on the opportunities and challenges ahead. Next slide, please. And some highlights and the latest news I have already mentioned the four first bullet points. And during the autumn, we had a setback where all the final conditions regarding final layouts for the wind projects Boarp and Dållebo were not fulfilled before the long stop date in the conditional deal with the investor were not fulfilled. So it was terminated. We are working on those issues with the final layout and are once again starting the sales process for the projects. And regarding PPA for those projects, we moved those volumes from Boarp and Dållebo into the new projects Skallberg, Utterberg, and Kärrnäs. And that was included in the press release we sent out this Friday, where we extended the PPA from 68 to 117 megawatt. And also this Friday, we communicated that the OPHEL project, which we have targeted to have fully in operation and delivered to our customer before year end, will not be completed. And our updated estimation is that we can complete it during Q1 2022. Next slide, please. And here you see a picture of Øyfjellet, and you can imagine its challenging conditions. It's up to between 600 and 800 meters above sea level, just rising up from the sea. We have suffered for COVID-related issues with transport issues and traveling restrictions, entry ban, and quarantine rules in Norway that somewhat delayed the process with the construction during summer. We have invested heavily to keep up and to accelerate the speed. And a milestone was reached last week when the last of the 72 turbines were fully constructed, meaning that the towers, the nacelle, and the blades are mounted on each turbine, and that the main cranes now can leave the site. After that, co-commissioning and putting them online, that work remains. And as of today, we have 34 turbines in operation. We will complete more and more for each week, but we think that it will take into sometimes during Q1 before we can hand it over to the investor. And exact time is very much dependent on the weather conditions at site. This is, as you know, up in the north of Norway, 100 kilometers south of the Arctic Circle. It's challenging, but we've been there for 2 winters now during construction. So we're certain that we will be able to complete the project in a good way. But of course, delays are never good, and it results in, of course, more costs for all parties involved, and that affects also our project margin. Next slide, please. And finally, this is a picture of our Windwall project, a repowering project where we replaced 400 old turbines. You see them in the small turbines in the middle. We replaced them with 13 new turbines, about the same capacity in megawatts, but the new wind farm will produce 4 times more electricity compared to the old wind farm. And that really shows the strength of renewables and the technological development over just a couple of decades. And that process will just continue. Next and final slide, please. Thank you all.
Okay, Per, thank you for your interesting presentation. We have a few minutes left, so I'll try to get maybe 1 or 2 questions in before we have to wrap up. First of all, the Øyfjellet delays. Have there been any lessons you learned from that delay that you can sort of apply to new projects to safeguard against delays in the future?
Yes, of course, we learn from every project that we do. Of course, the business model develops all the time, and with also we see a trend for an appetite from investors to also be more involved and to take on more risk, and we're happy to share risk absolutely for upcoming projects.
Okay, I'll try to get 1 more question in here. So obviously wind is your main market, but you talked a bit about solar and energy storage as well. How large part of your business do you see these being in sort of the mid to long term? Can this be a significant part of your business model?
Absolutely. I mean, for instance, the solar PV projects, they are huge in the southwestern US. Our first or most developed solar project is like 500 megawatt. Compared to the wind project Øyfjellet is 400 megawatt. And all those huge solar PV projects must also come with energy storage. So that will definitely be an increasing part of our portfolio going forward.
Okay, with that, Per, I would like to thank you so much again for your presentation as well as for answering my questions. And I'll leave it up to you for some final remarks if you'd like to say anything before we wrap up.
I just want to conclude that the renewable energies will be a very important key to the transition to the sustainable goals that we have, and Eolus is well positioned to take our role in this.